We're live! Yay! Hey,
Yay!
everybody! Welcome to the Weird Girls Weekly Recap of all things awesome! That's what we're doing right here. It's going to be another light show tonight. It's me, I'm Mark. Hi, and with me is Elizabeth. Say hi, Elizabeth!
Hey there, weird girls and boys.
Weird girls and boys, and weird people of all genders. Welcome to the Weekly Recap. We got a lot to talk about because we've actually caught up with some stuff. We're not fully caught up. There's a lot of stuff that I need to watch. I have not watched Dominion yet, even though I know I need to, and I really kind of want to. And Defiance is back. I don't know how many of you guys watched Defiance, but I did watch the first season. I do want to get caught up with it, so I'll be trying to get caught up with Defiance this week. But with the Geeky
And we
Awards,
are caught up with things not on Sunday.
yes, we are caught up with things that are not on Sunday. So yay, little things. But as I was saying, the Geeky Awards have really kind of taken up a lot of time. So congrats, Denny Danger, but we got a lot of prep to do. So I've been working on that stuff. But anyways, that's who cares? Who cares? You're here to talk about stuff and things.
Stuff.
So we're going to
Stuff.
talk about the stuff and the things. What should we start off with, Elizabeth?
Face Off is back.
Face Off is back. Yay, Face Off. Very happy with Face Off because it's such a great show. That's like the best reality show on TV, isn't it? Is there another one better than that right now?
Yes.
What's better than Face Off right now?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of the
So
best.
defiantly, you're like, is there anything better than Face Off? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, what's better than Face Off? You should have. What's better than Face Off?
I should. Yeah, it's up there with like the Top Chef and the Project Runway. You know, it actually is more skill than drama thing.
All right. So yeah, Top Chef. I'll give you the Top Chef and the Project Runways. That's skill based a little more.
Yes.
Okay.
I put all the skill based ones together.
So there's basically what happened in Face Off is this was their final audition. They weren't actually on the show. They were going to get rid of 2 people before they even really started. Which really is that really a final audition?
No. It's just a double elimination that they haven't made their beds yet.
Exactly. They haven't actually checked into the room or wherever they're staying, their villa, their house, whatever they want to call it. They haven't checked in there yet. They're still at the hotels. So whatever. It wasn't really a audition. Whatever. Anyway, they said, okay, you have today to get this makeup. You're going to choose. Apparently, the theme this year is going to be life and death all year, maybe? I don't know, or all season? Not all year, because it's a long
All
show.
season.
Yeah, so somehow they're supposed to do something with life and death all season. This was the first part of that where they had to do something life or death. They would run, they would pick up a box full of something that was labeled either life or death, and they would have to integrate that into their makeup. And it could have been anything from a scar to a forehead prosthetic to something that could be jewelry, whatever it was. They had to integrate that into something that would represent themselves as an artist. So, okay.
And they only had 4 hours. I will say.
Yeah. 4 hours, not a lot of time. So it really felt like a quick fire challenge that just lasted a long time because there were 16 freaking people there. How many were there? 16?
There were, and you just referenced Top Chef.
I thought they called them quick fire challenges on Face Off too.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, they call them foundation challenges. Never mind. Top Chef's a good show. If you like food, you should watch Top Chef. But we haven't. Anyway, it felt like one of the foundation challenges. Except kind of extended out a little bit longer because there were 16 freaking people in there. There's no way we're not going to spend time going over 16 freaking people because there was just too many, and there were a lot of mediocre. But
it was the first show I think either ever or one of the few I can think of where we actually both agreed who was going home. Like hands down, it was easy. There was no like, I don't know, it could be this one. No. In fact, one of them didn't even make it to the end of judging.
Yeah, it was really clear he should go home, and it was really 2 people. I think they were both self-taught, weren't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of self-taught people in this season.
Yeah, surprisingly, a lot of people. Kind of weird that way, but yeah, both of them went home, and we knew before they even started the judging. We're like them and them going home, no doubt about it, because their stuff was just not on par. It just wasn't great. The winner was spectacular. Her makeup looked great. What she did in 4 hours was just really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of her stuff. I don't know. Did we pull pictures for this today?
I've got them. I sure do. Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah, so we can show
there it is, right there.
Yeah, the winner was let me show that. There we go. The winner was awesome. I mean, that just she did that in 4 hours, and she's a cake decorator. She's a cake decorator who has started doing makeup. I love that. And I mean, if you ever watch like Nerd Ate Cake or something like that, cake decorators they're getting pretty darn impressive. So she was able to do that, and she actually used. You can barely see these little veins. They look like leafy veins down her arms and down her neck and chest, and she actually used like a cake piping thing to pipe out little pieces of silicone and everything. I think it was I don't know what it was. It was something that she
Yeah.
piped out into veins, and it was just really really well done. So yeah, she totally deserved to win this one. I'm looking forward to what she can do when she has actually more time to do things. So I'm excited about
Yes.
her.
And she reminds us both of Amy Thomas from Cell.
Yes, Amy Thomas. If you're watching this, if you're on Twitter or Facebook or something, she so reminds us of you. It's not even funny. That was one of the first things we both said. We were like, "Yep, Amy Thomas, right there." Boom. Yeah. So, a good friend of ours and a great actress, Amy Thomas, looks just like her. So, who do you have the losers up?
I can get them. Yes, hold on just a second. Here's the one that didn't even. Oh, full screen. Hold on. Okay. Share this thing. Start. Yeah. Yes, this guy was a soldier of life.
Oh yeah, that was so bad. This was.
It actually looks better in this picture, I think.
Yeah, it actually does look better in that picture than it actually looked. I mean, it looked like he took like frosting and just started lathering frosting on his face. It was really,
Yeah.
really not a good job with that. And this is a guy, he was self-taught. He and his son, I think, just recently started taking classes in this, like within the past couple of years.
I
So
don't know if they were taking classes or just trying it.
no, they took some class. They talked about that they had
Okay.
taken a couple of classes. So I'm going to give the guy, props to you for going out and doing this. He's probably late 40s, early mid 50s, you think, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So props to you for going out and doing this in the first place, because that takes a lot of guts to do that. It's just compared to everybody that you're going up against, he's just not going to compete. It was really not a good idea. He had a scarred makeup that was supposed to go for life, so he just figured he would put it on the guy's face. And that clearly was not a good idea. It just didn't work.
But I actually thought his wasn't as bad as the other one. This one is it's just a blue mess.
It was really, and this picture again doesn't really do justice to what it was like, because when you get in really tight, the blues and the blacks are all kind of meshed together. Like you can even see if you look at the nose, you can see that she tried to put black around the bottom of the nose, and it's just not even. It was bleeding all over the place. It just was not good. And when you look at when you look at what the winner did in 4 hours, and you look at this,
Yeah.
it's just hands down. Yeah. So we were all in complete agreement. I don't think anybody thought that these two were going to make it past this first audition round. I could be wrong. If somebody thought that they should have won, man, let me know. I really want to know more about that, because that's just I don't know. I didn't see it.
But there are some interesting people. I mean, it's super early, so I don't remember even I don't like any names or anything. But there seem like there's some pretty interesting people on the show this season.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. There's definitely some interesting people. I think it's going to be another good season. It's the first one in a while there isn't somebody from Austin, so we don't have a hometown hero that we
I
got to
know.
root for. So whatever. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited that Face Off is back. It is one of my favorite like reality shows. I actually have a thing against reality shows, but I really do like Face Off. So it's a good show. If you're watching, make sure you let us know what you think. You can leave comments. We've got the Q&A turned on, so you can do that as well. So let us know what you think. We'd love to hear what you think about these things, what you're watching, who you like, who you don't like, all that fun and exciting stuff. But Face Off is coming back this week, and I cannot wait. I want to see what all goes on. It looks like they've got some amazing stuff planned, so I'm super excited about the show.
That's Tuesday nights on Sci-Fi.
Yep, Tuesday nights on Sci-Fi. There's a lot of stuff going on with Sci-Fi right now. Sci-Fi is, man, for all the flack that Sci-Fi's gotten over the past several years, they're starting to do some good stuff. Even Sharknado 2 has gotten good reviews.
What?
I know people are saying it's fun. Yeah, it's not high cinema, but it's gotten people that are watching it saying, no, this is really a lot of fun to watch. It's totally tongue in cheek. They're totally playing it up. Sci-fi, you're doing stuff. You've got Dominion, you've got Defiance, you've got Face Off. There's a bunch of other shows that we've been hearing about that are in development at Sci-Fi that could be really good. Could be really good. I'm excited about it.
Well, all right then.
Yeah.
The other show we caught up on, which I made you binge watch from beginning to end, which wasn't that bad because there's like what 5 episodes and they're like 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's Legend of Korra.
And it was worth every second of it. I absolutely love Legend of Korra. I have from pretty much day one. And we're not going to get into the debate over which is better, Korra or Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're not going to get in that debate. I love Korra. Korra's great. And yeah, this was actually really cool. It starts off, and we're not going to do the whole 5 episodes or however many we get caught up with. But basically, it starts really within a few weeks of the end of season 2, where the spirit world gets merged into the regular world. Spirits have taken over some parts of the world, and Republic cities have taken over with vines and all this stuff. Basically, it turns out the president of the Republics, I don't even remember what you call him. He's the president of something, but he's the president of
Republic City.
Yeah, but isn't he the president of kind of like the Unified Nations or something like that? Or is it just Republic City? I don't know. He kicked Korra out of Republic City because he's a little jealous that she's getting attention, basically. That's what it boils down to. But the other side effect of the merging of the spirit and the natural world, if you will, is that all of a sudden there are a bunch of airbenders. People have started being able to airbend again. So even Boomy, Boomy?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, for some reason I was thinking that was the wrong person. Anyway, even he's gotten some airbending powers going on right now. So basically, since Korra's been kicked out, she's going to go off with Tenzin in the group, and they are going to track down airbenders and start rebuilding the Air Nation, which is not as easy as it sounds, because when people learn that they have to live as monks and stuff, they're like, no, not going to happen, sorry. So it's been really tough for them. And actually, Boomy starts trying to market things, and man, the power of marketing really shows through, because once they start showing the action adventure side of stuff, people are like, okay, I can do this. So they go through this whole thing. They go to the Earth Kingdom, and the Earth Queen is crazy. Why is it that everybody that rules the Earth Kingdom is just a little bit crazy?
Too much dirt.
Does dirt make you crazy?
I don't know. I mean, kids eat dirt and they're silly, and I don't know.
I think that's a stretch. But every Earth Kingdom ruler has been just a little off. Whether it's the guy with his bear or whoever it is, they've just been a little off. Anyway, she's not very friendly. She's a little power hungry and money hungry, and she's been basically imprisoning all the airbenders to make her own elite army that will fight for the Earth Nation. And that's not cool. And Korra finds out about it, and they break them out. And the Earth Queen is like, if you take them, it's going to be war. Well, there's probably going to be war because they sure did take them. And the airbenders that they freed were like, oh, we want to join you. We want to join you. And they go and start learning how to airbend. So that's been going on. All the while, some super crazy, powerful villains, criminals, escaped from these secret prisons that was hidden from everybody, essentially.
And they're all like very Magneto prison-like, or even Hannibal Lecter, whichever one. Like, it's very specific to what their bending abilities were. One of them wasn't even a bender, but then he turned into a bender. And the other ones were benders, so they had like a firebender and the super freezy cold, and they had the oh goodness, who else? They had the waterbender.
And the volcano kind of thing.
Yeah, so like super power, and oh my god, the waterbender. She's my favorite. Because girl doesn't have any arms. She has water arms.
Yeah, it's like she walks around, she doesn't have arms until she needs to fight, and then she like bends water into her arms, and those are her arms. She's kind of awesome and scary. Well done on that, because she is a creepy villain. Creepy.
I like her.
Yeah, she's really creepy. So yeah, that's kind of awesome. And they're hunting down Korra for some reason. We don't know why.
Because they tried before, like when she was born, and when they first discovered she was the Avatar, and they caught him, and they interrogated him, and they never said why they want the Avatar.
So they just locked him up.
Yep.
And one cool thing that we saw in this, when we learned all this stuff, we get to see Fire Lord Zuko. He is still alive, and not only is he alive, He's riding a freaking dragon. He's flying around on a freaking dragon, and that was kind of awesome. Seeing Fire Lord Zuko, and he had this. There's this great line, and actually it's all over Tumblr right now, where they're going down this elevator to check on one of their prisoners, and they're talking about one of the villains is one of the, what do they call him, the explosive bender or something like that. It's something where she can like make things explode.
Combustion bender.
Combustion bender, yes, which is somebody that actually Zuko hired to hunt down Avatar: The Last Airbender in like the first show. You know what I'm talking? Anyway, Aang, yeah, I couldn't remember his name for a minute. Hunt down Aang. So they're going down, and they're explaining there's this guy who can make things explode with his mind, and Zuko's like, yeah, I hired somebody like that to kill the first Avatar, Aang. And they all kind of look at him weird. He's like, it didn't work. It was really kind of funny. I love it. There was a lot of cool moments like that in there. So basically what we're dealing with is we've got these guys who are hunting down Korra while they're all trying to rebuild the Air Nation, and they almost get her. They sneak into this metal bending city, which is actually run by Lin Beifong's sister, Toph's other daughter, who we didn't know existed until this season. It was amazing. But anyways, they clearly had some problems in their past, and they hashed it all out. Anyway, this is a pretty awesome metal bending city. But somehow these guys get into this city, even though it completely seals up at night. The metal benders like bend these huge metal things that encase the city. It's really cool. I'm really impressed with this stuff. And yeah, they get in. They almost get Korra up. There's this huge fight, which is awesome. And I have to say, holy cow, Korra, the fight scenes that you have done this season are just amazing. They're just really amazing. It's super intense. Always crazy things going on. Well done animation team. And the metal bending is a bigger thing now. Korra has actually learned to metal bend. Bolin can't metal bend to save his neck.
He's learning.
He is learning slowly but surely. It's a thing that he's learning. But that's kind of where we're at. They've come back and they've agreed that Korra is going back to Republic City because they think it's going to be safer there for her now.
I don't get that.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, there's going to be problems. There's going to be some hunting going. Well, I should say this. They agreed that Korra would go back to Republic City, but then Lin Beifong's sister showed up later and he said, "You really think you can get him?" It's like, "Yeah." And she said, "All right, here's a cart, go." So she let him sneak out. So Korra and Mako and Bolin, they're on the way, on their own to hunt down these guys before anything else can happen.
Well, because they got into the city because like her chief advisor was the one that betrayed her and the one who like had a tunnel under his house that got them in underneath the big metal enclosure. And so yeah, she feels betrayed. Plus she was always like the rebellious one. That's kind of why she wasn't talking to her sister. And so she just kind of said what her sister wanted to hear, and you're about to have a cat butt in the video there. Xander Bing. Ah!
Okay, anyway, what were you saying?
Yeah. I mean, we saw the whole backstory, and you know, Lynn's always been the very by the rules person, and Sue was kind of the rebellious, should have been arrested and in jail, but the mom kind of, you know, broke some rules and told her to leave town, and so yeah, so I was kind of sad that because they'd made up and they were all happy sisters again, and I'm sure this will kind of drive another wedge there, but.
It will, but hopefully Lynn's going to see something through this. But we did learn how Lynn got her scars. She got her scars from her sister, which I didn't see coming. You know, it was a fight that got in. Lynn tried to grab her. Her sister cut one of those metal things that they use, the whip things they use to grab things, and it went back and slashed her face. That's just she got her scars and everything. So we've learned a lot about the families. It's been great, though, so far. I've been really enjoying the show.
Did they not say, I thought I heard this, but I was like, no, is Toph still alive?
They are not clear on that. It sounds like she went off somewhere and no one has seen her. I think she's probably still alive, but they're not clear. If anybody's watching and we missed something, let me know. But I think that Toph is still alive. I don't think they've ever said that she's not. Because, I mean, this is the first we saw of Zuko.
They said she left. Yeah.
Yeah.
She left to like go
but we don't know what happened.
Find herself or something, and yeah.
Yep. But, I mean, Katara's still alive. Zuko's still alive. I'm guessing Sokka is not. We have seen nothing of Sokka, and I would think that he would be around Katara at least some. And obviously Aang is not, or else there wouldn't be a Korra.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Toph is still around somewhere. But
I
let's
liked
let's
her.
talk about the thing that has really been all the scuttlebutt from Comic-Con and everything like that. And Nathan left a comment. He's been waiting to hear our thoughts on the treatment Korra has been getting from Nickelodeon. Yes,
Ugh.
the treatment
Uh,
Korra has. Let's. If you didn't know what's going on here, I mean, Korra is on Nickelodeon, which is a kids network. Just straight up, it's a kids network. If you've been watching Korra, you should know by now that it's not quite a kids show. It's animated, but it's a little darker than what you might think you would see on Nickelodeon. Well, I don't think Nickelodeon knows how to handle this show because they didn't even tell anybody that this season was premiering until the week before it aired. So they moved it onto a Friday night. They didn't tell anybody it was coming on until the week before it aired. None of the early episodes were on replay, so you couldn't find them anywhere on Nickelodeon. We looked, and we could not find them anywhere on broadcast Nickelodeon. They were
Finally
not on
found them
demand.
on. No, they're on Amazon. Had to pay for
We
them.
finally found them on Amazon. The only place you can get them is on Amazon if you buy the episodes, but that's the only place you can get them. They have not made it easy to find these things at all because they normally would have episodes stream on Nick.com, which is what they always did in the past. But none of that was available. They finally found it there on Amazon, but that was way after the fact. But none of the episodes that they streamed originally were available anywhere, and they didn't publicize where you get them. If you went to the Nick site, you couldn't see anything about it. So they've done zero marketing, zero promotion for this show. Everything about this show has been just done with people online, really, just the fans promoting it. And then right before last week's episode, Nickelodeon came out and announced, really just a couple of days before their Comic-Con panel. Legend of Korra had a Comic-Con panel, and just a couple of days before that, they announced that we are pulling the rest of the shows from broadcast and moving them all to digital online distribution, which everybody in the fandom just kind of blew up a little bit. They're like, what are you talking about? That unfortunately was timed horribly because then the Comic-Con panels had to spend half their time talking about whether or not they were canceled and why this stuff was happening. And it was just a total mess. Nickelodeon has no idea how to work with this show. It may be the best show on the channel, which I'm willing to bet it is, and I don't watch a lot of Nickelodeon, but I'm willing to bet it's the best show on the channel, quality-wise. But they don't know how to handle the show. I don't know, Elizabeth, you and I have been frustrated with this for a while. How did you feel about just this whole thing, just trying to even watch Korra?
Exactly what you said. Times like, because I literally for like once we missed the first two episodes, I was on, Time Warner On Demand and Nick.com every day, sometimes twice a day, looking to see if it was on, available yet. Just so I would have something for that one recap. I did watch the first two episodes, on YouTube with someone's like bootleg version of it. It was great. It was all stretched out and funky. But hey, I knew what happened. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And so from now on, every Friday they're going to put the new episodes just on Nick.com.
I think they're also going to do a few other places. I think it is going to stay on Amazon. And I saw something like that might be on Hulu as well. But I think that if you really want to watch it, you need to go to
Probably, yeah.
Nick.com. And it's really ridiculous the way that they have treated this thing. And now let's talk a few more things just about like the business of the whole Nickelodeon thing, because this is stuff that I've really been focused on. Clearly, Nickelodeon doesn't know how to handle Korra, but they've already signed season 4. They got a buy for season 4 ages ago, before season 3 even started. So Nick has theoretically committed to season 4. So they're not canceled. This isn't the last season, as far as we know. Things can always change. I mean, there are pilots that are bought and then they never air, so who knows? But Nickelodeon has bought season 4. Now, if you paid attention to the Comic-Con panel, the creators were talking about this whole thing, and they were really reassuring people. It's like, no, we have not been canceled. This is not changing the show. This isn't changing what we're going to do with the show. We're just going to digital. And they made a really good point, which makes a lot of sense to me. And what they were saying is that this show, The Legend of Korra, has always done better online than broadcast. Even when they were doing great numbers in their broadcast stuff, when you looked at what they were getting in their online viewing was through the roof compared to that. So most of their fan base and most of their views and watches have come from the online viewer.
That's because it's on Friday night and most of their viewers are adults who are out at happy hour.
Well, yeah, that's true. But even in season one, when they were on Saturdays, they were talking about this. Even in season one, they had really, really strong digital numbers. Really strong digital numbers. And no matter when it's been on, Legend of Korra, according to the creators, has always been stronger online. And I mean, heck, if you look at the number of people on Tumblr who are obsessed with Korra, yeah. And I mean, there's a ton of cosplayers out for it. It's a big cosplay thing. It's all over Tumblr. It's all over anywhere you can find. People love Korra online. So it makes sense to me that they're going to have a huge online viewership. Now, could Nickelodeon have taken that information, made a good decision, marketed as such so that everyone would be happy and the fandom would be rejoicing and Korra would be a happy place that everyone loves? Yeah. Did they? No. They screwed it up so bad. They didn't say anything about it. All of a sudden they just said, hey, we're pulling it from the rest going to digital. What does that mean? We don't know why you're doing this. We don't know what the motivation is. We don't know anything about it. Nickelodeon screwed up one of the best shows they've got on their network. They didn't screw up the show, I should say. They didn't screw up the show. They screwed up the way they were marketing it, and they screwed up dealing with their fans. So I'm really annoyed with Nickelodeon. I really wish Nickelodeon would let it go and somebody else would pick it up, honestly, because somebody else that understands the show and understands this fandom could probably do a lot with it.
Well, the good news is, SpongeBob SquarePants typically follows Korra, and that song starts as soon as the credits are over, and I have that song stuck in my head for a few hours whenever we end up watching it on DVR, so I won't have that problem anymore.
That's true. I was about to say, where do we get to the good news part? There's got to be some good news involved in there. So yes.
I won't have to sing SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yay. So Nathan, I don't know. I would love to hear how you guys feel about this. How you guys in general are just feeling about the whole thing with Korra. It really has been a mess as far as I'm concerned. They just have really done a bad job with everything with this show. So I don't know. That's how I feel about Korra.
So there's another semi-related question up here from Chris Camerai. He asked how we watch our shows: Hulu, local cable, mainly Time Warner, except for obviously Korra, which we had to do on Amazon. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's mostly for us is local cable because a lot of the first-run shows are not available on Hulu initially. So if we're going to do a weekly recap, we can't keep up.
Granted, we're not good at watching things as they come on, except for Sundays, but normally it's DVR. Sundays we have to do DVR because everything comes on at the exact same time. And so we have our little schedule. So first we watch True Blood because that doesn't have any commercials, so that then we can watch the other shows that have commercials while fast forwarding. It's kind of mandated by the commercials.
It's a system. We have a system.
We have a system.
Yeah, most of our stuff is local cable. I would love to be able to cut my cord. I don't see that happening yet. But I would love to cut the cord because I hate Time Warner Cable. Sorry, Time Warner Cable. If you guys start seeing me buffer, you know why. Because Time Warner said, oh, yeah, screw you.
Google Fiber's on the way.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're supposed to have Google Fiber launched by the end of the year. It's supposed to be this summer, and we just heard that it's probably going to be the end of the year. So we're really lucky. I love the fact we can use Google Fiber because there's finally an ISP that actually wants you online instead of wants to gouge you for every penny and every megabyte that you transfer in files. So Google wants you online, so they want to give you as much speed and as much access as you can. So all the stuff about net neutrality that we're having to deal with because these cable companies want to restrict your access to things unless you pay a bunch of money and everything, we're not going to have to deal with that with Google Fiber because Google wants you online. They want you there. The longer you're online, the more money they make. So we're totally going to get Google Fiber when that happens, and I really hope that they have a good channel lineup. I haven't seen what the channel lineup is yet, but I hope that they have a good channel lineup when we do launch.
Yes, because I am kind of scared to get rid of my HBO on demand.
Yeah, I think they'll probably have some kind of deal where you can at least do HBO Go, and anything that's on HBO is available on HBO Go if you have that. So we'll see. There's a lot of questions we need to ask. Right now it's local cable. We are going to switch to Google Fiber because with the amount of time that we all spend online, with all the videos we do on this channel and network and everything, we cannot pass up the gigabit transfers. You know, AT&T says they do gigabit. No, it's 300 megabyte on a high day. So don't believe their marketing crap because it's not. So I don't know. Yeah, so that's our answer, Chris. We do most of local cable until we switch to Google Fiber, and then we're going to be terrified as to what our TV is going to look like. But we'll at least have good internet. That's it. Okay, so I guess that's enough about Korra. Anything else about Korra before we move on?
No, but of course the bad thing about being caught up is that now we can only watch like 20 minutes at a time. It's kind of,
Oh, that's
it's,
frustrating.
oh, it's so hard. But, you know, we're caught up.
Chris also wanted to say thanks for letting us know about Korra being on Amazon because he let all of season 1 go because he couldn't find a legit source. And kudos to you for not going through a disreputable source. I refuse to watch stuff that is pirated as well because as a filmmaker, every time somebody pirates my work, which I've actually found a website who has ripped all of Cell off of YouTube and has posted it on their site. They're still crediting Cell, but we get nothing from that. So they've taken Cell and they're using it on that site. It's really annoying. So I don't like that. So thank you for refusing to watch pirated shows. I refuse as well because that hurts the creators. And I'm going to leave. Kudos to you. So what's next on our list, Elizabeth?
True Blood.
True Blood. The last season of True Blood continues.
Only 4 episodes left.
That's amazing. I have dealt with this show for so long, and there's only 4 episodes left. I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah. Well, last night's episode, nothing huge happened, but the big thing is we did kind of get the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, like we know where it's going and how some may survive. But other than that, it was kind of a few things that are barely even like worth mentioning. Like Nicole gave Sam an ultimatum, like this town's too crazy, I'm leaving, and you can either stay or you can come with me. And he said the craziest line I think of the show: Bon Tom's the only place I've ever felt safe.
Yeah, and her reaction was perfect. He said, "That's messed up." I don't know if that's what she said, but basically she looked at him and said, "You're messed up. If this is the only place you feel safe, what is wrong with you, Sam Merlot? What is wrong with you?" Yeah, I think this whole thing with Sam and her, they're really just trying to end it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Crap, we got canceled after we had them get pregnant, and we just end this now.
Of course, and I was kind of getting annoyed with her because, I mean, she came there because of all the supernatural stuff.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was bad.
It wasn't like, oh, what's going on here? No, she came there searching for them.
Yeah, she was looking for werewolves and stuff, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and now she's complaining that, like, this. Well, first of all, she has a very good point when she keeps saying, this town is not normal. Yeah, Bon Thompson is a messed up town. There's nothing normal about that town. Nothing good about that town either. So I get that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. She came there digging for werewolves, and now she's complaining because there's so much supernatural stuff in the town. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Whatever. What else happened?
Hypocrite. So James went over to Lafayette's because, you know, he couldn't really go home with Jessica after their breakup thing. And Lafayette was bringing Letty Mae with him because she was just, you know, crazy. And James agreed to let them both drink some of his blood so that Lafayette could kind of go on the little V voyage with her and see what she's been talking about and try. He thought he was going to prove her wrong, but not so much. Instead, they find a tongue-speaking Tara up on a cross with a yellow boa around her neck and a boa snake, not like the feathery thing.
Not a feather boa.
That's right. That's a snake.
A snake, yeah.
Yeah, and they follow her through the misty woods to their old house where they grew up, and she's still speaking in tongues and digging up the yard.
Yep. So they decided they're going to go dig up the yard, but then Letty Mae's husband comes in and says, "You got to stop this. It's either me or the V." And she basically chooses the V, so he walks out. So I guess they're not going to be together anymore.
I don't know. I mean, she tried to say it's not the V, it's Tara. But
yeah, but if you're an addict like she is, I mean, if you think of where she's been for the past however many seasons, she's crazy. She's almost as annoying as Tara has been over these past few seasons.
I know. So, I was like, oh, Tara's not gone yet.
Yeah, I know. I was really disappointed when she showed up again. Whatever. So yeah, apparently, you know, she's got this connection with Tara, and they're gonna go find their old house and dig up the front yard or something. I don't know. Her and Lafayette are going to do that, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think the only other minor story I can think of would be Adeline and I forgot the other kid's name, and Violet. Yeah, so of course
Oh,
Violet dumped Jason.
well,
Um,
but she knows that Jason was screwing Jessica,
right.
and then Jason took off in the middle of the day, which is her night, to go see Jessica because Jessica's freaking out, and of course she loses it and stuff. So they break up because
And yeah.
she tears up the house, leaves a note, and says, "Not working for me. Bye." So Jason's like, "Yeah," but
Then she goes after Adeline. I'm not sure if it's because she's a fae or because that Jessica was protecting Adeline or a combination of the two. But yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
going to be good.
It's not going
Yeah,
to be good.
and
It's not gonna be
then
good. I get a feeling that that little Faye girl is going to die.
yeah, I mean she is a newborn,
It could be.
and so technically it was like a
Well,
toddler having sex. I saw that on a review. It was kind of funny. She's only
like
like
a
a month
toddler
old.
having sex. Well, I mean, yeah, the Faye thing, but I mean, no, she's not because it's been years. It's been because she was born last season, and it's been months and months and months and months and months because Bill published the book. It was a bestseller. It's been months. She is way over like a month old because the V epidemic spread. She was born before all that happened, so she's old. She's a few years old, which in Faye years is like I don't know, 16. I'm gonna look at those.
And yes, Chris, True Blood is nothing like the books, and that's why it's ending. So the reason Jessica was upset is because she overheard Bill on the phone saying that he is Hep V positive, and so he was trying to arrange a meeting with a lawyer who specializes in vampires, trying to get their estates in order, so because they're about to die. Um, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who was reminded of Beetlejuice when this happened.
I didn't think about it until just right now when you said that, but yeah, I was totally like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, he goes into the lawyer's office, and it's just packed. People in every chair possible, with a number they pulled from a little thing, waiting to see the lawyer. And fortunately, his wasn't like 2 feet long like a Beetlejuice, but yeah, he had to wait for hours, and no one wanted to sit next to him once they all realized like his Hep V is just spreading like crazy. And it turns out it was from Sookie, because remember she kind of scratched herself to attract the vampires, and then she got covered in the Hep V goo. So she's got it, and apparently Faye plus Hep V equals like atomic Hep V or something. I don't know.
Who knows? But again, it's Sookie's fault. Sookie is such a oh god. Sookie's my least favorite character on the show, and it's about Sookie. That should tell you something about the show. Now, having said that, so Chris, you did make some comments
And
on
there's the
here.
fun part.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
What did you say?
I was going to say, then all that's left is the fun story.
What's the fun story? Because I want to go to something else.
Eric and Pam and the Japanese cowboy.
Oh yeah, Eric and Pam and the Japanese cowboy. Go for it.
So in the last episode, Eric was about to kill Sarah Newland when he saw the Yakuza. And so he drops Sarah, he goes and he like rips one of their faces off, kills a whole bunch of them. It was a pretty impressive fight scene for a guy who's dying of Hep V, and he's like, pretty weak.
Which they handled really well, where they even like slowed it down sometimes. He's like, oh God, seriously?
Now I'm only twice as fast as these guys instead of 10 times as fast.
Well done.
But at the same time, Pam somehow managed to get caught. And so they walk her up with these crazy silver chains around her neck. So they take them to some office building and they put them in an east-facing room. What?
No, continue what you're doing.
You looked excited. You were waving arms.
I'll interrupt.
Okay. So, yeah, they put them in this east-facing room with the clocks counting down till sunrise. And they're just kind of talking like, our first sunrise. And just minutes before sun comes up, this dude in black shirt, white jacket, white pants, white cowboy hat, Japanese guy named Gus, with the Dallas accent, comes in and tells him who he is and that the True Blood Corporation that he runs for the USA division. They're bankrupt because of Hep V, and he wants revenge on Sarah Newland. Well, of course, Eric wants revenge on Sarah Newland for killing his sister. So these two are, as Pam put it, measuring their dicks, trying to see who gets to kill Sarah Newland. And finally, they agree that Eric gets to kill her, but the Gus gets to take her body or her head or something. I don't know. So they get in their little Toyotas and Mazdas that are bright neon colors, and they race off to Sarah's vampire sister's house. Yeah, turns out. So as Sarah Newland was escaping the camp or whatever it was where they had all the Hep V experiments going on, there was one vial of antidote for Hep V, and Sarah Newland drank it. And so she is Buddhist, and she is the answer to all the vampires' problems. She is the antidote. And so when Eric opens the door expecting to see the sick vampire, what are you laughing at? Instead he sees her looking all healthy, and it's like, oh my God, what happened? And that's where it ended.
Yes. So Sarah Newland is in there. She is the antidote. You said anecdote a couple of times.
Oh, I sure did, didn't I?
Yeah. So she is the antidote to Hep V. How people are going to be saved and everything like that. There were just a lot of comments that I want to hit up here. So JM Cosmos says, this is exactly why I never ever got into the TV, at least the books, on a kind of upbeat note. Now, I have not read the True Blood series. Elizabeth has read them all. Did the books, number one, end on an upbeat note?
Compared to this, oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So there was an uplifting thing.
But there were a lot bigger, I wouldn't even say battles. It was like wars. I mean, there was some giant fairy wars that went on, and some brutal stuff, and and hotels exploding, and all kinds of death. And they were more violent, I think. But yeah, they always had a better ending.
Wow, so I totally missed out on that. So,
you missed out on Quinn. Quinn is the were-tiger. I was hoping he was going to be on.
I also missed out on the Elvis vampire. I know about that.
Bubba.
Bubba, yeah, Bubba the Elvis vampire. So yeah, it sounds like
he ate cats.
Sounds like the show. What?
He ate cats.
Oh, okay, that's no good. It does sound like the show is totally veered way off the books. I don't know. I feel like I had said earlier that I think that this season is going to end with them just killing everybody, because that just is the way it seems. Just kill everybody, and that's where we're going to end it. But now that there's an actual cure to Hep V, who knows? Maybe they'll not. We'll see. But it sounds like if you watched or you read the books, you like the books, don't even mess with the show. Just go on without it. Go on without it, James.
The first season was pretty true to the books, but after that, nothing. Not even close.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there. We got some other comments, and Nathan Dayspring, you just said something that I must have missed. So here's what he said in the comments: if Sookie has Hep V and gave it to Bill after one feeding, does that mean that Jessica has it too, because she fed off Sookie the same night?
I don't remember that.
I didn't remember it either. And then he goes on, because if Jessica had it, did she give it to Jason, and then she gave it to his crazy vamp girlfriend? I don't know. I didn't remember Jessica feeding off Sookie that night.
And I remember Bill feeding off Sookie, but I thought it was before all this stuff happened, because she wanted to make sure that he could sense her or whatever, because they were about to do that stupid thing that got her infected in the first place.
That's what I thought too. I thought that the scene that they showed that she remembered where he was feeding off her was before she even got into the woods. But then when she did the flashback, she was like, I cut myself, got splattered, he fed off me. So do we need to rewatch a couple of episodes? I'm not going to, because I have better things to do with my life. But
I mean, maybe he fed off her afterwards just to get some energy back or something. I don't know.
Nathan, are you sure that Jessica fed off them?
No, Sookie offered, but instead, oh goodness, who else did they bring? They brought someone else in.
No, I thought that she fed off of Sookie. Oh, no, you're right. She didn't, because Sookie came in there and said, okay, I'll feed, but I'm not going to feed off of you. Because she gave that speech that said, I don't care. I don't care anything
she's
about
part
you.
Fae.
I care nothing about
Yeah, she's part.
Yeah. What?
I think it was Keith or someone.
Yeah, there was something. Jessica didn't trust herself, so somebody came in and fed Jessica. So, but I don't remember. Oh, Nathan, are you sure about your timeline there, sir? I'm not. I don't know. Now I'm confused. If anybody can verify our timelines here, need some help verifying timelines because I just don't know what to say about that.
Oh, no, no, no. He might be right because maybe he fed on her on the way to Fantasia, which was after she got infected.
Maybe, yeah, that might have been it. Yeah, but I still don't remember
Uh,
Jessica feeding off of her.
mm-mm.
I'll buy that he fed off of Suki, but I don't remember Jessica feeding off of her at all. So
Mm-mm.
if anybody can verify that, yeah. And Chris, you're right. Chris says that vampire STDs are crazy. Yeah, they are crazy. They are just uh, whatever. Vampire STDs suck. That should be a quote on a shirt somewhere. Chris said. Chris said, Erg, in the book, Suki just wanted something normal in her life, which turned out to be a vampire boyfriend, so she couldn't read his mind. That's how it started off. And then it turned into something else. I don't know. True Blood sounds like it's in its death throes. Yeah, it is. But the weird thing for me, I actually think this has been the best season of like the past 3, maybe even
Yeah.
4 seasons. So yeah, it's in its death throes, but for a change, they're finally focusing enough so you can really follow a story. So it's struggling, but this is weird. I think it's going to go out well. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's going to go out okay. Let me see. I think that's all we got on the comments. Chris also had a Korra comment. Deserves the Nickelodeon version of Adult Swim. Yeah, really, it just deserves Adult Swim. Nickelodeon just
Pretty
needs to
much.
go over to Cartoon Network and be on Adult Swim because it will get the love it deserves there. They can handle those kind of shows a little bit better than that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but Korra better get its 4th season because I'm ready for it. I don't want to hear any of this crap, so we'll see what happens. All
Yeah.
right. Anything else on True Blood?
No, just 4 more episodes.
God, I hope it's not 4 seasons. That would just be wrong. Ugh. Okay, what's next?
Last ship.
Last ship.
We are fully caught up. Yay!
We have these little cheers every once in a while when we get caught up. I'm curious how many of you guys are watching The Last Ship. I was tempted to not watch this because it's produced by Michael Bay, and just that in general makes me think that it's not going to be very good. It definitely has some Michael Bay undertones to it. If you don't know the story, basically there is a horrible, horrible disease, a pandemic that's wiped out, where are we at, 98% of the population, something like that?
I don't
Vast
remember,
number of the population. It's really, really bad. Civilization is crumbling. Governments are collapsing all over the place. And there was one U.S. Navy ship that was out doing testing of some new weapons. Well, actually, while they were doing testing, they had a researcher on board who was actually collecting samples, trying to find a primordial strain of this virus in the Arctic. So she found it, got it on board, and nobody on the ship knew this was going on because they were on radio silence for months. But the fact that they were out at sea and away from the hot zone, nobody on the ship was infected, and they're the only ones that have really stayed that way as far as they know. So they are the last ship with the last hope for a cure for this virus. There's a lot of other stuff that goes on. There's apparently a rogue Russian admiral who has found out about them and planted someone on the ship, and they had this big exchange where they were going to like fight and die and stuff, but they got away from that. There's a lot of stuff going on. We missed last week's recap talking about it, and we just watched this last week. Basically, they needed monkeys for research, so they went to Nicaragua, which there was a monkey reserve there. So they took a couple of their little launches, rowed up. They didn't row. No, those are motor boats right there.
Yes.
Went up the river to the monkey reserve, and turned out they stumbled upon this drug lord whose yacht went aground in this river because his captain apparently said, no, we can make it. No. And this drug lord basically took all of his guys and took over this little town and became the dictator, lord, king of this town kind of thing. And they basically deposed that guy, putting it quickly. They basically said, nope, not going to happen, kill. So they killed him and all of his men. They're free. We got the monkeys coming back. I don't know. Is there anything else that really happened that week that we should talk about?
Apparently there was a mosquito bite somewhere.
There was a mosquito bite somewhere, which we found out this week. But anything last week?
No, I mean it was just a good episode. Like they they didn't kill him quickly because the drug lord guy, once he found out they just wanted monkeys, they didn't exactly tell him why, but kind of did. He let him go, but he was clearly about to rape the mayor's like 13-year-old daughter. So they went back and what? And then they kind of ambushed the drug lord, took out all of his men, and did they kill him or did they just drop him off on the other side of the river where he sends all
No.
the infected people?
So where it actually
Oh
went,
yeah, that's right.
he agreed to give them some monkeys because they had a bunch of monkeys, and apparently that's one of the things that they eat at this
Mhm.
place is monkeys. So they gave them a bunch of monkeys, and they were going to go off when some of the Navy guys that were there saw them loading the older daughter who had insulted the drug lord and called him scum. They put her in a boat and sent her across the river where all the infected people were. They basically sentenced her to death by sending her across the river where all the infected people were, and they tried to stop them. And the drug lord said, "No, you're going to leave all your weapons, you're going to leave all your gear here, and you're going to leave." He gave him the monkeys still, but he said, "You're going to leave." So they did that, but then they turn around and doing their cool, like, Navy SEAL assault stuff. They're able to take out these guys. They didn't actually kill the drug lord, but the girl's father came up behind him with a knife and just killed him, and he said, "No, die." And then he came
So it
back
was
and he said, "This is our town now."
yeah. So really, the moral of that episode was, they're saving the world, but what kind of world are they saving? That was the whole.
Yes. What kind of world are
Yeah.
we saving? We want to be able to live in the world we save. So yes.
Yeah.
So that was good. So they're back on the boat. Yay! And they feel really good that they could be close to getting. This is this week's episode. They feel really good that they could be getting close to a vaccine and everything. So they are going to start heading back home where they could get somewhere where they could synthesize this vaccine. But things don't go well, and there's this big discussion between the senior officers as how they're going to handle it. Are they going to tell the crew, or are they going to keep things secret? They decide to keep things secret, and
And
that was
meanwhile, the bad scientist, he's been assigned a guy who played chess with him. He's kind of like feeding them all these little like, panicky things like, oh no, I think your captain's hiding. I bet it's this. I bet, yeah, no, her virus, her whatever, it must be failing because, they've seen her throw in some stuff overboard. And, I've said before that like every episode of this show has been very different, like a total different tone, totally different everything. This one to me was a little, I don't know, kind of shoved down your throat. It was very like about secrets and rumors and stuff because like all these rumors spread on the boat, and it was I think described it as like an after school special about panic and rumors and things, but it was good. They like a bunch of the enlisted men, their enlistment was up, so they're like, we want off the boat now, and then finally the captain came clean to everyone, told them what was going on, and I think the scientists, earned some trust, the good one, not the bad one. And yeah, so I think it's all good now.
yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying by the after school special kind of feel. I didn't feel it was that bad because I think it was the kind of thing that could happen because they were keeping a lot of secrets. The communications room was cut off from everybody except the few people that were in that area, and they were basically monitoring all the broadcasts, just trying to hear anything. Grr. And all they keep hearing is just these people calling for help, and they wanted to keep that secret. And they wanted to keep secret that the vaccine trials weren't going well. They wanted to keep secret this and that and the other. And when you're on a ship with a very small number of people, with a pandemic who is destroying the entire world, and all of your family may be dead, and you don't know what's going on, you don't know anything that's going on,
And they
you're gonna
think that it's actually on the ship because one of the guys that came back got sick.
right. They think that maybe it's on the ship. Turns out it's a dengue fever, and the researcher's like, no, he doesn't. I tested everybody. It's not on the ship. We're fine. Blah blah blah. Basically, when you're in that kind of setting, people start telling stories. And that's just the way it is in any community. If you don't know the facts, you're going to make facts up. Back in the prehistoric days, people didn't know what lightning was, so all of a sudden, oh, there's a god with lightning bolts for his little thing, and Zeus is going to throw down lightning bolts and kill people with it. That's what happens when you don't have facts. So instead of facts, they went with rumor, they went with their own stories that they made up, and it made sense to me. So I get it, but it was a little maybe school specially. I do want to say that I still think, like you said before, every episode's very different. It's a different thing. It's not stereotypical Michael Bay where everything is blowing up. It's a lot more character driven than I thought it was going to be.
I still don't like the guy from Gitmo.
No, yeah, the guy from Gitmo, that's probably for me the most stereotypical part of it. He is like the Jiminy Cricket of the show. He just
Yes.
goes around to somebody and says, "Hey there, Captain, how you doing? Have you ever thought about this? You're gonna be fine. Let me go off and give somebody else some help." Uh, yeah, he's a little too much for me, and I think you think that he's hiding something, right?
Yes.
We don't know what he could be hiding, but she's got a feeling. We'll see if he turns into a bad dude at some point. He may. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, he's a little on the nose for me. He really is just kind of the voice of reason, the hippity go guy kind of guy that's like, hey, I know everything's going on. I'm wise and I'm flaky and stuff, whatever.
Buck up there, buckaroo.
Yep, sounds about right. So
Yeah.
that's the last ship. If you're not watching it, you might want to give it a try. I don't know how it would be if you just came in straight in the middle of it, but you might want to give it a try. See what you think. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
The Strain.
The Strain. It's The Strain. Guillermo del Toro's show about the vampire breakout in Manhattan. Um, so basically, this is a show where this ancient vampire thing has basically they have worked their way to get loose into Manhattan, and they got on an airplane, and now they've got 200 plus zombified versions of themselves wandering around, and 4 not zombified vampire people that are just turning into zombies. And that's pretty much what this episode was about. The fact that these guys are turning into vampires. Pretty much it.
And not your typical like True Blood Twilight vampires. There's nothing sexy about these vampires at all. In fact,
Nothing.
in fact, at the very last scene, one of the survivors from the plane, he's not feeling well, and he gets up to take a leak, and his junk falls in the toilet. Yeah.
He doesn't even care. He's like turned at that point. He just like watches it, flushes it down the toilet, and then he's like, whatever.
Yeah. So he turns around, and it's just smooth.
Yep, nothing there. But
Nothing.
I mean, these are not like the regular vampires. They have these crazy proboscis things that shoot out of their mouth and like clamp on and kill you and stuff like that. The thing that here's the thing that bugs me about this show right now, and this has bugged me more and more the more I think about this.
Yes.
So there's 200 plus people on a plane. The plane lands, goes dark. Everybody on the plane is dead except for 4 people. 4 people. There's a ridiculous thing that's a lie that basically lets these 4 people out of quarantine and go back home. So they go back home, and every single one of them is sick or acting sick, has fevers, not feeling well, not eating. And every single person around them is like, oh no, you're not feeling well, go lie down. You're just on a plane with 200 plus dead people. Your husband comes back sick, and you're just going to say, oh, it's okay. Oh, say hi to the kids. Here are the kids.
He's drinking the juice from the tray of some like raw meat thing, and you're just like, ew.
And there's no way she couldn't have seen that little thing start to come out and suck up the little blood, and she was like, oh, husband, go rest. What is wrong with you? Come on, people. That's not realistic. Oh, that just drives me crazy.
Yeah,
I was actually really annoyed by this last episode, just because of that, actually.
And it moved pretty slowly, too. I mean, we see, I forgot his name again, the pest guy, the pest control dude. Yeah. So the rats are running out of the sewers.
We don't know what that means.
No. Not really. Yeah, and the old German dude, yeah, he has to put his face on every day. Like, literally. Like,
well, let's be clear. There's a couple of dudes that are older dudes. The old German dude is the guy that works for the Stoneheart Corporation that arranged all this stuff.
Yes, he has to put his face on every day.
Yes, because apparently when you really turn, your like nose falls off, and you get these weird things in your throat, and your skin's all crazy looking, everything like that. So he actually puts on prosthetic ears, nose,
A neck
makeup all over the place.
cover, yeah.
He has to cover up completely. So, and that was one thing he did where there was this little scene where he put on his face and he said, "Soon there'll be no more charade." Ha ha ha. Okay, all right, Supernet. The other old guy is the old guy that was in the concentration camp that fought against him ages and ages ago. He does not have to put on his face.
No.
He's human.
But he now has a list of all the passengers that were on the plane, and he's going to go visit all their families because he knows what's going to happen.
And they got to be killed. So he's basically going to try to kill hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and zombie vampire things, I guess.
Yes.
Now, they did, so F and his group, I can't remember her name, the other researcher with him, she did go and try to track down this guy and get some information. And he said, you have to kill all of the dead passengers, you have to destroy their bodies, and everyone who's been in touch with them. And they're like, what? And he's like, nope, you're useless until you're willing to do what you need to. You're useless to me, and walks off. So there was that moment. But then they also had the airline captain in the hospital. They were observing him in the hospital. And he was doing really, really bad, and the changes that were going on were just crazy. They were so fast. There's no way. What was going on? Blah. And F told, no, we're gonna find out what's making you sick, and we're gonna make you better. Well, no, you're
They
not.
even did like the blue light thing. They saw all the worms under his skin, and yeah.
Well, at one point he like gets out, and they track him down. So like he's got to be in the hospital somewhere. They track him downstairs into the kitchen, and he's broken into the freezer, and he's just guzzling blood. He is just guzzling.
Why is there blood in the kitchen?
I was wondering that too. I mean, that would not be where they keep blood. That is not where they keep blood in the hospital, people. Just so you know, if anyone is curious, when you go to a hospital, they don't keep the blood in the kitchen. It's not where they keep the blood. Different place. But that's where he was. I don't know. It was.
And it made it more convenient, so they had things to fight him. Because once he saw them, he tried to attack them, and he ended up getting his head bashed in with a fire extinguisher.
Which, let's be clear about a couple of things. So now these researchers, they have seen this guy shooting stuff out of his throat, trying to kill them and everything, and he is throwing people around, and his eyes are all jacked up, and his teeth are all jacked up. They have seen this guy out there. They know what he is. If they don't like start really asking some serious questions next week, I'm going to be mad because come on,
need a little more panic.
There's got to be a little more panic in what's going on. Second part, F took a fire extinguisher, smashed him over the back of the head, and while he was unconscious, he was out. He starts bashing his head in. Now, let's look at the world we're in so far, where the entire world and the government says there's no epidemic, there's nothing crazy going on. You just took a patient at that hospital and you bashed his head in. Are you now going to be arrested for murder?
I don't think so, because he's got like a 5-foot-long tongue with little things on the end of it and worms coming out of his body.
Yes, but is he still a person in the eyes of the law and everybody that says that this was just a patient at the hospital?
And clearly they were wrong.
I'm just going to wonder how they're going to explain this to the police and everybody in the hospital. What are they going to do? How are they going to explain this? They better explain it in some way because, like you said, this show's been going on really slow. It started off great in the pilot, and we're only on the 3rd episode, so there's plenty of time. But it's been really on a slow burn, and I like slow burns. I like them a lot. But, man, it needs to pick up. Really needs to pick up. And, Chris, you said thanks for the strain. Got amped up to jump into this one, too. You really should jump into it. The pilot episode is stellar. The first episode is just amazing. You're going to love the first episode. They really just need to pick up the pace a little bit because it's just a little too slow. And it's Guillermo del Toro. He likes taking his time. I like taking my time. You're taking too long. Let's get something happening here because not enough has really happened for me at least. I don't know. And there were a few little other subplots with the dad in the custody hearing and the son saying that visitation. Dad got mad. This really did nothing but just make me dislike Ephraim.
And we find out that the kid has asthma, which I'm sure will be like a problem later. I don't know.
I'm sure. But it's just his reaction to this was he's just Ephraim's reaction to this entire thing was just ridiculous and over the top, and it really made me not like him very much. So that happened. We also found out why Samuel Gamgee, and that's all I can remember his name, but it's Sean Astin, why he let the thing out of the quarantine in the first place. He's the guy that actually let the truck with the evil big bad vampire out because Stoneheart had something on him. Basically, they were going to help get his wife, who had a very terminal type of cancer, into a very promising research program in somewhere, Stanford.
Stanford.
Yeah, it was Stanford. So that was his whole reason. They were going to give him a bunch of money and help his wife get into this thing. So he agreed to it, and now Stoneheart has said that they pretty much own him right now. He's got two bosses. He's got Ephraim in the CDC, and he's got Stoneheart Group. So we know that's going to come back to haunt us at some point.
Well, I think now that he's like had to fight this crazy co-captain or co-pilot, whatever, with the tongue attacking him, I think he may change his, thinking.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
You never know though, because who knows? Who knows? I would really hope so. Once you see that level, when you realize you screwed up that bad,
yeah,
you've got to. But you've got to wonder, if his wife is in the program now. That was one thing they showed. His wife got a phone call and she's in the program. Could they suddenly call her back and say, "Oh, no, you're not"? No. He's got the money. His wife's in the program. Could he start screwing over Stoneheart Group and not get in trouble with them?
I don't know what else they could do. I mean, he's already in a. They could.
They already killed the president of the airlines, who was.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, he snuck in and made it look like a suicide. The president of the airlines was denying all this report that it was their faulty air and they weren't doing the checks. He was like, "This isn't true," because it's not. It was a lie. So he was saying this isn't true, and he was all over the place. They snuck into his office one night while he was listening to the reports, drinking, and forced him to kill himself. Basically, put the gun in his hand, shot himself, kind of thing. Which, does this German guy, the German vampire guy, does he not have fingerprints? Because he didn't really glove up. So are they going to be able to find any additional fingerprints on that? Because we know, we've watched enough CSI shows by now to know that if you force a gun into somebody's hand, the fingerprints don't look the same as if you just got the gun in your hand. So
I'm betting that those can't be his, that's not his real skin on his hands. It's sure some sort of glove thing.
Yeah,
you're
probably right.
So.
Yeah. All right, whatever. That's a thing that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about The String? Where are we at with this?
I'm definitely still watching it. I'm kind of waiting for the pest control guy because he makes me laugh to get integrated into the main story because I don't think it's just going to be about rats. And yeah, I don't know. I wish it would speed up. I definitely wish it would speed up, but it's good.
I really wish it would speed up, but I am really enjoying it. And Chris, you should definitely check it out. It's definitely worth it. Watch the pilot, and if you're not hooked after the pilot, then you'll know. But I was really hooked after the pilot. I thought it was great, and I'm a fan of Guillermo del Toro's work, so I'm going to keep watching it for a while. I think it's going to be great. I really hope it's going to be great. I hope they can really pick it up, and I think we're at a point where the pace should start picking up. I hope at least.
You would think so.
Yeah, it's about time. That's something that should happen.
F almost ran into the little, zombie vampire little girl, French girl.
Yeah, he went to check out the French guy who's just, again, another irrational thing. The French dude who was told over and over again, "Your daughter is dead." She shows up like green, cold in the middle of the night saying, "I'm cold, Papa." And he's like, "Oh, come here, let me hold you and give you a bath." No, that's not what happened. No. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I don't care if that's your only daughter and the only person you have left in your life. I get it. But you don't put in your dead daughter and not tell anybody and just, that's ridiculous.
Because then she will eat you.
Which she did.
Yes.
And he deserved it.
I know.
So, yeah. They need to bypass some of this really irrational behavior and get to something like, Let's pick it up, guys. Let's pick it up. Let's just pick it up. That's all. Overall, though, watch String. It's good.
Yes.
All right, what's next?
That's all we're caught up on. I am behind on The Leftovers.
Right.
We have not started Dominion, so we're like 5 episodes back now. I know, I know. You haven't watched Defiant, so you're 2 episodes back now.
2 back. If I don't get it caught up by Friday, I'll be 3 back.
Yeah. The good thing is there's nothing new starting until Doctor Who on August 23rd. So we have a
Okay, I feel
chance.
like there was something we're missing. Isn't there something we're missing?
No,
No.
no.
All right. All right. Well, then, yeah, that's what we're caught up with. There's a lot of other stuff to talk about, though, because one of the things we always talk about and we always ask is, what are you watching online? Well, there has been so much stuff online right now because San Diego Comic-Con was last weekend, and
Love it.
yeah. Why do you love it so much?
Because they always have blooper reels and trailers. Oh my god. And the blooper reels, there are 2 of them. 2 of them. One, of course, from Game of Thrones that everyone's seen, which kind of, we see where the little dancing thing came from for that, like, I wish it was a little bit taller. I was like, oh, hey, look. And the other one was Hannibal. There was a great Hannibal little blooper reel.
Those are 2 shows that Elizabeth loves both of these shows. I don't watch Hannibal, but I love Game of Thrones, and I love that the blooper reels are fun. So we've both been watching the blooper reels and everything.
Everyone should watch Hannibal.
That's just that has been. There you go, guys. She said
It
it.
is beautiful. It's so well shot and written, and it's starting to catch up with the books. I mean, even if you didn't read the books, you'll still like it because we haven't even caught up to the books yet. But we're starting to see hints of the books. I've read all of them. We saw one little thing that kind of it didn't tie into the books because it was a different character, but one journalist was supposedly killed the same way the Philip Seymour Hoffman character was killed in Red Dragon, which was kind of crazy. But yeah, so you gotta watch it. Oh, it's besides, Mark said he didn't watch it because he thought it was going to be just like crazy torture porn or whatever. Okay, number one, there's way fewer people dying on this show than there are Game of Thrones. Way fewer. And it's almost like elegant how they've done it. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy. The deaths are crazy. But yeah, it's so well shot. I saw one person talk about it that this will be like Twin Peaks. Like in 20 or 30 years, all the cinema students are going to ask all their elders if they watched Hannibal when it first came out, and all of you were going to lie and say you did because you didn't, and only I did. Just
For what
saying.
it's worth, I'm not gonna lie.
That's good.
I didn't watch it. And second, torture porn is not related to the quantity of deaths. It's the way in which those deaths are perpetrated. Is what makes torture porn.
Well, we don't really see most of the deaths, only a few of them. And most of the ones that we see are like in a fight. So it's not, the crazy creative deaths that we see actually happen. We just see like kind of the presentation of some of the dead people.
That's fair. That's fair distinction.
Yeah. So anyway, it's fantastic. I am really annoyed that it didn't get nominated for an Emmy. But the good thing is they're short seasons. It's we've had 2 seasons so far, but they're only 13 episodes a season, so it's possible to get caught up. Just saying.
Yeah, I feel like I should watch it. I watched part of an episode and it was interesting. I was intrigued by it, but I don't think I was connected enough with the characters to really understand what was going on. So yeah. I would probably have to dive in pretty hard. Is anybody watching Hannibal? Let me know if you're watching Hannibal, because I'm kind of curious what everybody else thinks about this show, because Elizabeth adores this show, and I feel like I should be watching it, if for no other reason, just to show support.
They're about to catch up with the books, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, but I never read the books either. I was never really into the books. So, again, I wouldn't read the books because that wasn't the kind of thing I wanted to read. I didn't like to read that kind of stuff. So I wasn't really into the books. So
that was the only kind of stuff I read in junior high.
That's just disturbing. You're reading that in junior high. You're like in junior high reading about all these horrible murders and mass murders.
My friend and I were also the ones that would take our other friends at sleepovers out to the cemetery. She lived next door to the cemetery with a Ouija board to try and scare them. So yeah, that's kind of stuff I did.
You just worked too closely with the darkness, my dear. And
you married me.
I know. I'm gonna wake up with some weird knife on my Christmas day. Scary. What else? What else happened? There was a ton of stuff that went over at San Diego Comic-Con. They released the trailer for The Hobbit, The Last Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. That trailer came out and everything. Everybody's been buzzing about that. I don't know. It looks good, but it didn't blow me away. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Middle Earth saga to end. It's just time. It's been going on for like 20 years now or something.
Something like that.
It's just time. It hasn't been quite that long,
But
but
it feels like it.
it feels like it's been going on forever. I'm ready for it to end. I'm ready for a good, satisfying end, and this should wrap it up. This should
I'm
just wrap it up.
still annoyed that they broke one little book into 3 movies. Because the last movie, I went and saw it. I went because you wanted to see it, but it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was the great middle of a movie.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was a great middle of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brilliant middle of the movie. Really, the way you need to enjoy The Hobbit is to just sit down for a 9-hour marathon.
Yeah.
And just watch a big 9-hour marathon of the movie.
Which we've done, so we'll do it again.
We did that for Lord of the Rings. Alamo Drafthouse had a marathon of Lord of the Rings, and we sat down and we watched the extended versions of all of those movies.
On our anniversary.
That was our anniversary. What was that? 2 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So we've done it before. It's doable, especially if you go to the Draft House because they have these feasts where they feed you every couple of hours.
11 times.
Here's some more food. Here's some more food to keep you going. So if you do it at the Draft House, it's definitely the way to go. So yeah, I'm ready to see this end. I've loved The Lord of the Rings. I've enjoyed The Hobbit, but I'm ready to see the Middle Earth saga be done.
Chris said he was bored with Hannibal.
Oh, see? So what was boring about Hannibal? What made you?
It's slow. It's definitely a slow burn, but it's
but I like
so
slow burn.
good. It's so well shot. It is so artistic and so creative and so yeah.
Now I will say that as far as like TV cinematography goes, the picture does look beautiful. The stuff that I've seen, it's a really interesting way that they shoot it, and I really like the artistic way that they're shooting it. I can't speak to the story part of it and like how that's progressing, so I don't know. I feel like I should give it a chance for you because we're married, but
So Chris, if you were bored with episode 3, that means episode 4 had a lot of crazy twists and stuff and things that you didn't think were going to come, because that's kind of how it usually went. Like one episode might be a little like super setup, and then the next one was just like, wow, where did that come from? But not in a gross way, but in a like, oh my god, didn't see that, like mess with your mind kind of way.
So you're saying that Chris should like watch episode 4 and then decide?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go, Chris. Challenge has been made. You can accept the challenge or refuse the challenge to watch episode 4 of Hannibal.
I mean, season 1 to me was a little more of a straightforward crime drama kinda-ish, but then you find out in season 2 it really wasn't. Season 2 messes with your head because season 2 is just crazy.
Okay. You say so.
Without giving too much away, because it's this weird relationship of Hannibal and Will. Like they both know the other's onto the other one, but they don't say it out loud. And then it's so good. Sorry.
All right. No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
But I did like watching the Game of Thrones panels. The panels are funny.
I didn't actually watch the panels. You sat and watched the panels?
Parts of them, yeah. Yeah, they were pretty good.
Okay, so I should go back and watch the panels. There was a lot of other stuff that came out. There was what was that thing? There were just one of the big things that came out was the Warner Brothers, the Superman versus Batman movie. They started releasing some stills and showing some stuff. And there was a lot of talk about Gal Gadot. If you remember all the stuff when Gal Gadot was first cast as Wonder Woman, everybody was like, what? There's no way she can be Wonder Woman. She's too skinny. There's no way. Wonder Woman's an Amazon. There's no way she can do it. I gotta tell you, if you've seen the picture, the first picture of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, she looks fine. She looks like Wonder Woman to me. Have you seen that picture, Elizabeth?
I have. She looks great.
I mean, let me see if I can find that real quick, and I'll throw this picture up. No, I don't want Linda Carter. Not that Linda Carter's not great, but that's not who I'm looking for here. I want Gal Gadot. Oh, I should have done this in advance. I'm sorry, people.
Shame,
Not Gal Gadot.
shame.
I know. It's sad. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, blah, blah, blah. If I can't find it here in the next couple of seconds, then we're just going to say never mind. Yeah, we're going to say never mind because I can't find it that quickly. Sorry, everybody. But she looks great. There's been a lot of people who are saying, "Oh, she looks like Xena. Oh, she looks like this." Quit comparing her to Xena. Quit comparing her to everything else. This is a character that has never been done in a movie before. This is a character we got. We can't make any judgments until we see the movie. I just want to remind everyone about the Joker, because when the Joker was first cast, not Jack Nicholson, but oh god,
Heath
lost it.
Ledger.
Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger. Everybody was furious, and now Heath Ledger is the quintessential Joker that everyone hopes they can be. So we need to give this some time and let the show work out. All this crazy stuff and everything. She looks great. Good costume. Works. Let's see how the movie turns out. Let's just see it. Next year they're going to have a bigger panel. We'll see an entire Justice League up there for all I know. Who knows? We'll see. So yeah, that's what happened at Comic Con. That's kind of what we've been looking. Anything else big at Comic Con that I'm missing that I'm forgetting? There was a lot of stuff, but I can't remember off the top of my head what I was really excited about.
Yeah, no, Game of Thrones and Hannibal. That's all I've been watching.
There you go. I mean, there was a lot of controversy and stuff, but that we don't have to deal with that right now. We'll be fine. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we've been spending a lot of time on. And I don't know, is there anything else we need to talk about tonight?
No, I have to get back to work.
Yeah, and I've got so Danny Danger. In case you didn't know, Danny Danger got a nomination for the best online personality at the Geeky Awards this year. That's exciting. She is actually doing a GoFundMe right now to help pay her way out there because she really, honestly, doesn't have a ton of money to get out there, so she needs as much help as she can get. So go find Danny Danger's GoFundMe and help if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Money's tight on everybody now. So if you can't, that's great. But we're planning on getting out there. Got to get some stuff prepped for that. I've got to get to work on getting like clips sent off there for their pre-show stuff and their award stuff. So we've got a ton of stuff with that we got to get done. Plus we've got a ton of videos coming out. Everybody that's been watching, I just want to take a second to say thank you to everybody that's been watching. The support that we've gotten over the past several weeks has been awesome. You guys are great, and every single one of us really appreciates it. Everybody in the channel works really hard with their full-time day jobs, trying to get videos done, trying to stay on top of the Twitters and the comments and everything like that. Thanks for being the supporter, and thanks for being there from day one for this channel and network. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. So we're going to keep working on this stuff and keep the channel growing and keep new people coming in and doing amazing things that hopefully you guys are enjoying. Let us know the kind of things that you want to see and the kind of things that you're enjoying so that we can try to work towards that. And I think that's pretty much what we got. Oh, wait, nope, there's a comment. I always, every time I shut down the show, I go and check comments, and there's always a few comments that I miss. It drives me crazy. But Nathan left a comment I just see. Said, Leftover is starting to find its stride, and Dominion is so not good. That's really disappointing. So, should I not be watching Dominion, Nathan? It sounds like I shouldn't be watching Dominion. Anybody else?
We did get when we got a recommendation to watch it. We were sitting at a pool in Vegas and drinking a lot. So.
Was that where we got the recommendation?
Yes, it was David's friend David.
Oh yeah, it was David's friend David, which is weird. David's best friend is named David. Not confusing at all.
No.
Yeah, okay, so I'll have to do a little more research on Dominion. It's such a cool concept. I love the concept, and I really kind of wanted to see how it worked out. If it's really not good, though, I'll have to do a little more research before I decide to waste time on it. Especially with 5 episodes in, that's going to be hard to catch up with.
I like Chris's comment. I was wondering, if it was more controversial, the Wonder Woman, or, as he puts it, Batfleck.
Yeah, Batfleck. You know what? They were both pretty controversial. Ben Affleck as Batman was a big, big deal. Yeah, Chris, I don't think anybody was really upset about Superman. I think that Henry Cavill, I think they were a little annoyed because he's British. But that was the only thing I heard people being annoyed with him. I think his performance in the movies actually pretty much knocked that out. I think he's a really, really good Superman. So I think everybody's okay with that. But yeah, people freaked out at Ben Affleck, which I get it, but we cannot forget, regardless of what you think about a lot of his stuff, Ben Affleck's a pretty good actor. He's done some really, really good stuff. We can't just immediately discount him because he's done a few things that maybe not so good. Everybody has these things. And of course, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman just caused this huge uproar, which drove us crazy. Danny actually did a video a ways back just about that, about just this whole concept of why people were so mad about Gal Gadot being Wonder Woman. So yeah, they really can't. They really just can't win with their casting choices. What are you gonna do? And Ryan Reynolds, I didn't see Green Lantern. I heard it was so bad. I really wanted to see it. Heard it was so bad, I just refused to see it. So I can't say anything about Ryan Reynolds. Don't
Is
know.
he Deadpool, or is that just like a meme going around or something?
There was a leaked video of
It's
a
really
dead.
funny, like video.
Yeah, it was basically a thing where it was test footage of a Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. Really, it was Ryan Reynolds' voice because it was mostly CG. It's really poor quality, but you can definitely tell this is a CGI deal. Now, I say the video is poor quality. The CGI is not. The CGI is really well done. It's a good mix of the live action and CGI. So they did a fairly good job with that. But the quality of the video itself is not good. But the Deadpool character, as Ryan Reynolds portrayed him, really kind of spot on. I think it was really good. If you're a big fan of Deadpool, you should look this thing up. I don't have a URL for it, but look up this video, Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, and you'll see what I mean. I think they did a really good job. They totally captured kind of the attitude of Deadpool. There's a lot of fans of Deadpool right now, so if you're a Deadpool fan, you should totally check it out. But yeah, it's just a test footage. I think they probably leaked it to see if it gets a lot of buzz, and if it gets a lot of buzz, they'll probably try to pursue it a little more. And it's definitely getting some buzz.
Timing's kind of convenient.
Yeah, no kidding. Timing's perfect for that kind of thing.
Just happened to get leaked during Comic-Con.
Oh, oops. Didn't mean to leak it now. Yeah. Oh, Nathan is in Vegas too, so he was in Vegas and he's selling his Dominion isn't good. So there you go. Chris says thanks for the great. Don't worry about flooding comments, Chris. We love getting comments. The more comments, the better because we like being able to talk to everybody about stuff. So you leave comments all day.
And don't worry, we have people who will comment tomorrow on your comments today. So
yeah, it goes on for a while. Well, that's the great thing about the internet. It lasts forever. Yeah, okay, so that's enough. I think, let's see, anything else that I missed? Because, again, I hate missing comments right as I close everything off. I don't think so. Anything else?
Nope.
Elizabeth? Nope, we're good to go. So watch Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. We're going to get back to work because we got a lot of stuff to get caught up on. So we're going to start working with that. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We're going to be back next week. And, Nathan, I'm going to go ahead and try to schedule these things in advance so you'll get notifications like months in advance. We'll be like 3 months from now. You're going to have a thing popping up. Hey, show in 3 months. You'll have plenty of warning. Anyway.
The invitation that you got, Nathan, that was when I hosted, and I sent out the invitation. Just saying.
I was running behind today. Whatever. Anyways, that's all we got. I will try to get these better in the future so you get notifications earlier so you can schedule time aside to come watch. And that's pretty much it. Leave your comments, tell your friends, share, subscribe, all that fun, exciting stuff. And for now, we're going to say bye. Bye.
Bye. See you.